Our Roboticon Tampa Bay 2014 coverage is proudly powered by the Microsoft Store. Work smarter with Microsoft Office and the all-new Surface Pro 3, or get your game on with the Xbox One and the Halo Collection or Sunset Overdrive. The Microsoft Store has it all for everyone. Go get your favorite gadget now at f5live.tv/Microsoft.
It'll be some fun things.
And speaking of interviews, we have some new people to our right.
Hello, new people to our right.
So long as you are on this side of that black line, you will be... There's a black line on the floor.
There's a black piece of tape.
So long as you're on this side of it, you'll be in the camera frame.
Sure.
We're all going to get cozy.
We are. It happens. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Mayuri Viswanathan, and I'm a member of Team 2383, the Ninjineers. And this is Andrey Gubanov, and he's also a member of 2383. He's our driver. I'm the coach on the drive team.
We'll allow you to swap headphones at some point. We'll let you talk.
Let me just say,
yes,
from the bottom of my heart, let me thank you guys. Let me tell the world why I love you guys. Not just you guys, the whole group back there so much.
Which is a huge
975 people, I think, is the last time I counted, accounting for inflation.
It does seem, we were just talking about this with Team Spam, it's the two of you. You guys kind of own the bleachers. When you look into the bleachers, it's your two teams that hold them down.
We got a phone call in August, last August, from Terry.
Yes.
Saying, hey, robot things. And we were like, yeah, robot things.
Come do a show at RoboCon, which is what it was called last year.
So we show up. I've not seen any of this stuff. Scott was purposely not telling me enough information, I feel like.
And I hadn't been involved in it in 15 years at that point. So I didn't know what the game was.
Yeah.
We're up there.
Yep.
Behind us. There's a bunch of group up there. I'm waving. They're not waving back. It's fine. They're your engineers typing on the computers.
Yeah, our scouts.
We're hanging out up there with the scouts going, I don't know what's happening. I don't understand the rules.
And so last year's game involved...
See, that's why I had the Frisbee. This is good.
Frisbees.
Good for everyone.
And at some point in the game, human beings started throwing Frisbees.
Which does not make sense.
And it was very confusing for us.
I was under the assumption that those human beings were androids.
And so...
They had to be.
I wish we were that good.
And so we leaned over and asked the unfortunate people who happened to be sitting next to us, what is happening?
We weren't sure.
And your team was nice enough to guide us through last year's game.
Right.
To the point where we could actually talk intelligently about it on the show.
What a concept.
Which was awesome.
You know, most of the time we just make things up as it is.
I mean, there's a lot of that.
So at least it was nice that we had somebody in 372 episodes to help us out.
Yeah, they're a great group, and they do a lot of hard work up there. Like, I don't know where we would be without our scouts. A lot of us have graduated from the scouting program. Almost everyone goes through it, and the current head scout, she's incredible. She always knows what she's talking about, and I don't know where I'd be without their help. So
that's a little behind the scenes. Let's go into detail on that. What's happening on the field is robots doing robot things, and that's well and good. There are people that drive them.
Robotic volleyball.
Robotic volleyball. I'm sorry, robotic volleyball. And we have drivers and we have the programmers to make that all happen. But there is a core group of people that are integral to the success of the robot.
Because it's still a game. When all is said and done, it's still a game.
So
and you've got to play a game.
So talk a little bit about the scouts, and you guys, I think, do it the best. So what do you guys do? And don't give away your trade secrets.
You certainly do it biggest.
Yes. So what is a scout's role, and how does that matter to the success of the robot on the field?
Well, essentially, you can think about robotics competition just like any other athletic event, and you have those coaches that are taking notes. You know, the defensive line is weak in this place, and our scouts essentially do the same thing for us. Different robots, you know, their strengths and weaknesses, what they can and cannot do, how they complement our robot, and the people up there all the way on the top with their laptops typing away, they're taking down data on all of these different things for every single match, and they each get a robot, and they're each taking down all this data. We have like a subjective comment. We've completely revamped the scouting system, and we're actually offering it. We've created it on Google Docs, so we're offering it for people to use on other teams to kind of start up their scouting system as well. So we love to share our trade secrets, if you will.
So you've mentioned the comparison to like football, like defensive line. You guys aren't wearing headsets, though, down here. How do you relay that information to the drive team?
In a small competition like this.
Sign language.
She's wearing a headset down here.
She is. But we're talking to her. We're not up there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, in a competition like this, it gets tricky because we're kind of on cue right after each match. But usually we get a little chance to talk to the head scouts in between the matches, and they'll come down and they'll strategize with us and the other teams. So they'll let us know, okay, they're saying they're really good shooters, but the data says otherwise. So we can kind of factor that in when we're talking to the other teams and deciding what we're going to be doing on the field. So as of now, our head scout actually runs down between every match, and she comes up to us in the queue, says, okay, what have you decided to do? Approves it, says yes or no, and then says, oh, okay, that's a good strategy. That's not. Maybe you should ask them to do this. So we get a lot of help from them. And of course, it all culminates in the alliance selections when we choose the robots that we're going to be playing with for eliminations. So
Very cool.
So let's turn it over a little bit if we could.
Hold on,
before we do that?
Before we do that, before we switch.
Yes.
What year are you?
I'm a senior.
Right,
You're a
we gotta do
senior?
this.
Yeah, we got to do the experience stuff.
The obligatory questions.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you're a senior. What's next for you?
College. I'm currently applying. I'm actually not going into engineering. I want to be a neuroscience major.
Wow.
So that's the distance or direction that I'm going in, and I'm hoping to go. My dream school is Columbia University in New York City, but I'm applying to a bunch of different places, so we'll see what happens.
Cool. You're going to stay involved in first after you graduate?
Of course. I mean,
Awesome.
of all things, I'm so ready to leave high school, but of all things, this is the thing I'm going to miss the most. It's really going to be hard to say goodbye to all of these people in this whole organization, but hopefully I can get involved in some other team and be a mentor and, apply all of this experience to some other.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, kicking you.
Driver,
Yes.
identify yourself.
So I'm Andrey Gubanov, also a senior in this case, so experience stuff can come.
So when did you join the team? Have you been all through high school? Or?
Yeah, so I came to the school freshman year. Very first thing I did was look online and try to find how to get into this robotics. I heard about this robotics team. I'm like, so I show up and okay, there was a meeting very first day of school. Just we're going there. I kind of sneak in and I noticed there's not a single freshman there, and they're talking about some museum exhibit. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I might not be ready to be a part of this right now, because it ended up turning out that they had a week later had actual informational sessions.
Got it.
But that was my very first experience with this club.
Was just sneaking
With this
in.
team, yeah, pretty
All
much.
right. Awesome.
So
I totally believe that your whole area knows about this team. I can't imagine that your team is able to keep things a secret. There's far too many of you.
Too many leaks? Is that what we're saying? Too many info leaks?
Which is a good thing. The fact that you came into the school already excited about the program certainly speaks a lot to the program.
And we do even have a couple of team members who came to the school specifically because they heard of this team and of the program.
Very cool.
Previous years, we've definitely started team outreach a lot more. And this year it's noticeable because we've got new team members who actually heard about the school specifically through our team and the robotics program. So
yeah, that's crazy. So from a driver's perspective, how has this game been?
Chaotic.
Okay.
I took over for the off-season competitions once the seniors graduated from the actual season.
Fair enough.
And
because we're in that weird in between the beginning of a school year but post-season, which is weird.
It's almost like this weird mix-up, but it's definitely it's an experience. I'll give it that. This game, I'm fond of it, but I feel like there's so many different ways you could go with the robots that there's a big difference between one that's purely defending you and just pushing against you, pushing you into a corner, and one that can go really quickly, just fire balls. Talking back to last year's game with Frisbees, they were more or less, they all had to shoot Frisbees to really become successful.
Right.
So here there's such a big variance in what the robots can be and cannot be, and it makes for an interesting game while also making for quite a chaotic experience, I'd say.
How has the kind of forced collaboration worked out? Has it made the game more or less complex?
To a certain degree, I think more.
Okay.
You would think that forced collaboration in general would just improve your end result. You just have a bunch of teams, one ball, you're at a single goal. But the thing is we're not some month-long team that's trying to figure out how to get these balls. We meet our team members, and within a couple minutes, we have to know what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and just instantly get in. And you have to know how to plan really quickly and how to execute. And if something goes wrong, you haven't been developing a backup plan for like a month or so.
So the driving is kind of important this time around, more so than launching frisbees from halfway across the field.
Exactly. So, I mean, last year you could park across the field if you wanted to and kind of just.
Right.
But
these things are big and heavy. I mean, for us they're not heavy, but for the robot they're super heavy, which certainly makes the field bigger.
Yeah. And I mean, I almost feel like one aspect that adds to complexity is the lack of field obstacles. Because last year with the giant pyramid in the middle, if your robot was small enough, you could almost hide in between and underneath it and no one could push you away. Here, there's nothing to shield you against anyone else. So if you're not quick to shoot in, if you're not quick to move around, you're pushed around.
There's also nothing to center on.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed last year that a lot of teams would like back into the pyramid and had a little thing. They're like, okay, so this is where I am, and then rapid fire the frisbees. Then all right, off we go. But there's nothing on the field this year. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it really just creates a complex environment to deal with because you really have to depend on. If your team's that advanced, you really have to depend on the sensors that you put on your robot to guide you across. And technology isn't always your friend. So you have to have overrides and that are just manually time limits, time set, and that just causes complexities in everything, really, I'd say.
Absolutely, and technology is not always your friend. It took us 30 minutes to get this thing started tonight.
It happens.
So
tonight, see, you think it's nighttime still.
I know. The show is always at 9.
Not always.
Obviously not always anymore. Keeping me on my toes. So what's next for you?
College, robotics engineering, computer engineering.
Awesome.
I mean, I came into this school, into this team, knowing that something technical, something relating to hardware and software I wanted to do. And this team really fostered that. I really want to do robotics engineering, computer engineering. I want to go to college, figure out that path, and hopefully do something important.
Very cool.
So,
What schools are you looking at?
Well, I'm looking at Florida schools,
Okay.
UF, UCF. Out of state, my ideal college would be Carnegie Mellon, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
But, hoping for it. We'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
And you're going to stay involved in FIRST after you graduate?
I hope to. I mean, especially if I stay in state, I plan to. If I stay out of state, I'll do what I can.
There's an alumni association everywhere.
True.
Definitely stay involved. And you've been going for the grants, the scholarships and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, good luck to you guys this season.
Yes.
All right.
And thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
I love that team.
They're great.
They're great.
Without them, we would not be.
It's true. I like their shirts this year too.
I need a shirt.